Hey everyone, welcome to another review. This time on Rewrite episode 6. Oh my god, this episode was really hyped for me. Okay, so let's go and delve right into the meat of this episode. Now, this is a direct follow up. By direct follow up, I would mean probably like a day or so, coming away like several days after the previous episode, and we get the promise of Lucia in that maid outfit with her kidnapping Kotaro. It was pretty hilarious how she did that freaking kidnapping act. Oh my god, she just knocked the freaking wind out of him, tied him up to a chair, and blindfolded and gagged him. And it was just hilarious how they had like the Japanese subtitles and got the English subtitles on top to translate what he's what he's saying, and what everyone had with their mouths are muffled with whatever. And it was a really refreshing thing to see. I remember a scene similar to that in the visual novel, but they obviously changed it because they can't really fit everything from the visual novel into the anime. Moving on, this episode is basically the prelude to what is going to happen next episode. This episode obviously followed the visual novel common route or route, whatever how you want to pronounce it, almost to the end of the common route. So basically, what we have is the setup, and the next episode, episode 7, which is going to be where everything starts to accelerate up higher, past into anime original route. Once we hit episode 7, after episode 7, it will be entirely anime original. So I will not know what they're gonna do with the anime original story. But I do know that there was anime original scenes in this episode. Particularly the part where Kotaro chases after the mysterious girl, and they're at that tree, and we see the full flashback, or not the full flashback, but a partial, more detailed, more longer flashback of what happened to Kotaro. On that, there's there's two girls. One of them was bleeding, it's blood. There's some sort of weird monster thing that reminds me of that dog that we saw in episode, I think, 3. And the thing and the girl chopped off his arm or whatever, like chopped off his arm, chopped off his arm, guys. Like literally, he just flew off his right arm, to be precise, and he just flew off and landed behind him. And after that, she just strikes him again with the things piercing him. So we got a bit of blood, a bit of violence, a bit of a kind of a limb decapitation or limb displacement, I would say. Uh, Oh man, and this episode was really comedic. All right, so they couldn't fit in all of the jokes and the investigations from the visual novel, so they condensed it into like a couple of seconds. What they got their point across, they were equally hilarious and funny, even though in their condensed form. Like I got the point of it. Like the one where there's like ogre howling in the night, and we see Inoue, and then we also see that it was actually Yoshino doing his badass karate moves or whatever judo kicks or whatever, training inside a fully empty castle in the middle of the night, which is kind of weird, but it's Yoshino. And oh man, and all of them, including like the puns in him, oh my god, it's just seeing those scenes in the anime, and that they're actually putting them in there, even though they can't put it fully in there, but just having them in there is just like nostalgic overdrive from what I remember from the vision. Even though my memory's a bit wonky, it just snaps right back into my mind. It's like, oh yeah, I remember this. And it was really entertaining. And we got to see more of the thing we see from episode 0, the little mammoth thing, which is called Chibi Moth. And it's obviously some sort of mammoth, and it could be a result of, okay, so basically Kotaro is a mammoth, everyone thinks it's a dog, okay, yada yada, and we get into the part where they're exploring the forest. Now the forest is where they're going to find their last, I think, investigation, for what I remember, which is the Utopia. But that Utopia is actually toxic sludge slime inside the river that has been mutating, animals and killing and drying out the forest slowly, and that the UMA's identified, animals and all of that have been appearing in Kazamatsuri, the city, are probably a result of birth defects, deformities, and mutations from that toxic sludge. And we get to see a bit of banter between Akane and Lucia, who, by the way, is the best girl. She and Shizuru got that something going on with Kotaro at the very beginning of the episode, a lovey-dovey thing. It's obvious that that it's shipping. It's shipping. The guys are shipping. I know what they're kind of going to do with the original route. They're going to probably ship Lucia and Kotaro in some way in an anime original. That's just all the signs are pointing that way. I'm sorry, guys. You want to see some other romance? Hope for a OVA style Little Busters thing where they cover the extra 3 routes. or you just play the visual novel when it comes out, Rewrite Plus, when it comes out in America soon. I think it's next year. But anyways, they're arguing about how Akane is like humans have no right to like destroy the habitats and to make it better for them to live in because it disturbs the other bugs, animals. And Lucia is like, yeah, it's fine for us because we're also animals and that we also need to adapt, and that's our way of adapting to the environment and all that. And then Kotori, being the cute girl she is, goes like makes like cute noises and stuff and like faces to interrupt them. And we get and then this leads up to the toxic sludge thing, and everyone is just like disgusted, surprised, and just shocked and just the sludge. Even I was, because of the way they described it in the visual novel. It was really descriptive, but seeing it like visually and how like it's toxic. It has like a weird bluish, bluish, darkish blue, purplish, kind of rainbowy-ish, color to it, which is sludge. I mean, sludge can be toxic. So basically, since it's toxin, it could be like literally, it could be like red sludge, black sludge, blue sludge, anything. Because you all know, it could be green sludge. You've seen green sludge, yellow sludge before on the news, like toxic waste disposal, like going out of control, or like like a chemical spill or something like that, and you see that thing flowing up like the river or something. It was just really heartbreaking to see. I was like, oh my god. And near the end of the episode, we also got a scene with Kotaro and Akane. When he's writing the newspaper, like he's not going to publish what he saw fully. He's just going to type it down because he feels like he should at least like type it down to at least have a record or something like that. As he says, they're not going to report on it as the Alcohol Club because it's too heavy for them. They're just an Alcohol Club. They're doing it to have fun and all that, prove the supernatural exists, not dabble in like the friggin' like industry of like plants, like the agricultural industry, and like going into all that heavy deep stuff. I can see why, as since they've found it, they would be reporting it. Reporters would be going up to them and like disturbing their early lives. And obviously Kotaro doesn't want that, as we can see from him like thinking about it. And Akane saying, why not just report it, like writing it's foodie. And she goes on to a very, very descriptive rant about how the earth is going to like expire, be destroyed eventually, and that humanity is like the main cause of it. There were people who were living in those like barren, kind of destroyed parts of the earth, while there were others who would indulge and like forget all about the problems that are plaguing the earth and the rest of humanity, getting lost in whatever they're doing. And then Kotaro is like, okay, so I get that, but he's all like, and she says, we can fix that. And he says, oh really? What is it? And she says to get rid of all humans. And we can just see the expression on Kotaro's face that he didn't expect that answer from him. And as a visual novel player, I can totally see her point of view from what I've read from her route, and how and why. And you can also see some of the foreshadowing of what the clash with her and Lucia during in the forest. So there are like different viewpoints on how animals and humans are existing. Like it's all right to adapt the habitat, like the environment to us. And Akane is like, no, that's not right, because there are other things living there. And Kotaro was like, yeah, that's I don't think that's wrong, but I don't think the other is wrong either. And it's just like it's torn on it. And then we get Inoue, the newspaper girl. She goes into the forest after him. Kotaro, I thought for a second that he would realize that something would be wrong, but I remembered in the visual novel, it was just like, oh, okay. And then we get that scene where one of Inoue's friends goes up to say that she hasn't returned. I remember that scene clearly from the visual novel, and the next episode would definitely be the end of the common route, whatever you want to call it, and I will be going into anime-only territory. Man. So I'll say, as a visual novel player who's been watching anime since episode 0 and all the way up to episode 6 right now, I clearly don't understand why other visual novel players are just being like dicks about it. It's like, okay, so you want to adapt the entirety of the visual novel. That will cost way too much. People will start losing interest in the anime, because most of the common route is just comedy, slapstick stuff, and people love good comedy, but after a while it gets stale. And and it's just the cutscenes and the transitions of how things go from city comedy to serious and foreboding. It kind of did that in the visual novel as well, as you would have like a happy-go-lucky scene, and you could transition to Kotaro walking down the street or something, and he gets trapped in like an alleyway. They cut out all of those like, weird, mysterious stuff from the anime, because obviously they couldn't fit it into a 13-episode time frame. But people would say that, oh, is this comedy? Why are they throwing this in? It seems so out of place. Well, it was out of place in the visual novel as well. But as I'll rate this episode a 8 out of 10. The animation derped a little bit. it was mostly during some of like the heavy, more motion intensive frame scenes, but most of all, they got point across. This was a decent episode, predictably more better since they're obviously wrapping up, and they are and all the previous episodes have been feeding us information that anime onlys need essentially to just relate with the with background. It was to see why Lucia so adamant about protecting humanity and siding with them and Shizuru because she's part of Guardian. They're like the superheroes. They have superhuman abilities, so they're the superheroes. They're going to protect humanity. And what Akane was saying was just like going against humanity and like making life for humanity hard. And Lucia, and during that conversation with Akane during the thing, was obviously making human like harming humanity in some way, even if it's just inconveniencing them. It's against humanity. So we get to see her side of it and why she acts like that. And we're people are probably like, they didn't explain Akane's. Well, they're going to explain it. They're going to explain it in the next in the anime originals, story, and they're going to interweave her background in Kotori and Chihaya's, into that as well. Because I see how they're going to probably do this. That he's going to join Guardian at one point. In the visual novel, he could do that. It's a possibility. But that's probably the route the thing they're going down, and I'm really excited for how they're going to handle the next episode. It's going to be epic. I don't get why people hate on 8-Bit so much. I mean, sure, the Grisaya adaptation was kind of bad in the beginning because the director was, I don't know, he did that one root thingy. But I mean, the way he's doing it here, he learned from his mistakes, rushing it all into a root because you needed the backstories to fully understand all of Grisaya. And like a lot of anime onlys and visual novel diehards, and I'll call them Nazis, the Nazis of the visual novel Nazis on anime adaptations are just unsatisfied with the product. But you have to understand this is an adaptation. It's not like a full 2020 or 3030 or 100 whatever thing side by side. If you're a millionaire or billionaire, you can do it. Go invest. Go to Japan and go to a studio. Do you think you invest all your cash into the perfect adaptation or whatever? But unfortunately, that's not how the world works. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to deal with things like this, even in real life. Like things don't go the way you want. Stop whining, please. Stop being entitled. Well, that's all I got to say about this episode. Yeah, that's pretty much. So, you guys, gals, have a good night, have a good morning, have a good whatever you've all been. This is me signing out, Ryan. Can't wait for episode 7. If you haven't, we want to discuss some things, you can comment, like, subscribe. If I've missed anything or just want to talk about the episode in general, you can always PM me on Twitter or post something I might have missed on Twitter, or you can just comment what I missed or what I may have misinterpreted or or forgot to mention in this episode in the comment section below, and I'll get back to you ASAP. I have nothing else to do, but school is starting up soon. I'll probably do another video on that, but stay tuned for the next review, Tales of Zestiria: The Cross tomorrow, and Macross Delta, though Macross Delta might be Monday since it's delayed, so I might do something, second video besides that. So this is Ryan, I'm signing off. Everyone have a nice wherever you are. See everyone out. See ya.